And I just bought the Sony FX3 and I don't know how I feel about it. We are filming another episode for the Lowdown and we're hanging out with my boy, Henbu, who I haven't seen since camera camp. What's up, man?
What's up, man? He's in my hometown, so I gotta show him around. I gotta take him around, show him the best taco spots.
I was gonna say, I just want to eat tacos. That's all I want to do. FX3.
About time, dude.
FX3.
It's about time.
FX3. FX3.
We'll slowly kind of work our way back and hopefully
getting our directions. So we wrapped the intro and we're done. We're gonna head back to the studio. Thank goodness, because it's starting to get a little hot and sticky. Yesterday sucked.
Oh my gosh, it was, I mean, it didn't suck, but it was like very warm.
We went to the park. It was so hot that in between takes we had to get some ice cream because it was so hot.
10 a.m. ice cream breakfast.
It was good. It's a thing. Don't get sand inside. Don't get sand inside the shoe. I'll have to film another segment and then back in the studio. It's really nice out today though. Beautiful.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Lowdown. I am here at Coronado Beach. Now, my co-host Sydney is at the studio with our special guest, Ari Elkins. My tire pressure's low.
Oh, we're gonna be okay, right?
I don't know, it says 36.
Well, what a way to go.
But they were all fine. Maybe because it's hot?
Maybe.
Does that affect tire pressure?
I don't know.
Good thing we're over a bridge.
Back in the studio, and we're gonna set up right over here. All right, so for a while, I was unsure if I wanted the Sony FX3, but then when Netflix said that the FX3 was a part of their approved cameras, I was like, maybe I should get the camera. And so I got the camera. Here it is, Sony FX3. Well, I was playing with it for the very first time last night, and I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how to use it because I'm so used to like my custom buttons on my A7S III, my A7 IV, that I didn't know. And everything is like already predetermined where certain features are, like the iris button and white balance buttons like over here where I have it programmed to be, you know, on this end of the camera. And so it took me a while to get used to. And so now I'm kind of wondering, was it actually worth it? You know what I mean? Like, I know the FX3 is a great camera, and I have still yet to like really utilize it properly, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it right now. I love my A7 IV. I love my A7S III. All the buttons are pretty much exactly the same, and so I don't know if I made the right choice. I will say, however, like I just love the look of the FX3. I just love the design, the form factor, like the fact that I can fit 2 full-frame cameras in this small travel bag is pretty insane, and it's because like the top end is chopped off. It's more of a squared off body. Also, I kind of forgot about this, but I thought the FX3 had internal ND as other cinema cameras would have. I thought this camera would have global shutter or shutter angle. It does not. It's essentially an A7S III chopped off. And there's a fan inside. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that because if you think about a cinema camera, you think of those features, right? Internal ND filters, shutter angle, things that make video look more cinematic, or for better lack of a word. And again, the FX3 it's essentially an A7S III, at least in terms of image quality. So yeah, I mean, I feel like I should give more time playing with this, but right off the bat, first impressions, I don't know if I'm that impressed. I know, I said it. Like, I'm not sure if I made the right choice buying the FX3.
I mean, the A7S III is so good.
And I feel kind of bad because I'm on Twitter a lot, and a lot of us get influenced. We kind of influence each other to buy certain camera gear. I know Armando influenced me to get this, and when I posted it, let's see who else got it. Terry Warfield got it. Farouk got it after I tweeted. But just look how easily it just slides into my camera bag. You know, that squared off design is really, really nice. So I don't know. You let me know in the comments. What do you think? Did I make the right choice? What are you rocking right now?
Right now, I'm using the Sony A7S III
Okay.
with the 24mm G Master f1.4, and I got the Zhiyun Weibo 3. And I'm gonna shoot some really fire shots of Sydney for the reel that we're gonna create together.
But we just filmed what, 5 different shots?
About 5 to 4 different shots, I would say.
This is so exciting. Oh man, he makes like the best cinematic reels. It's really cool. Can't wait for you guys to see this. I'm gonna show you some of the cameras that we're using on set today. We've got the FX3 and a 70-200. Over here we've got the FX9 with the 24-70. That's a beast of a setup. And over here is another FX3 with another 70-200. And so, yeah, the more I think about it, the more I realize that the FX3 is a good production camera. And I'm very enticed by the idea of Netflix approving it to make films. But the way I understand it is that if you make something filmed with any camera and it's in a festival, Netflix wants to buy it, then they'll just buy it and use it, whatever. But if you have an exclusive deal with Netflix, you're making like Netflix branded content, then you have to use the list of approved cameras. At least that's what I think. I may be wrong, I don't think so, but I think that's how it is. So yeah, FX3 more for video production, but for like general content creation, for creators that take photos and videos, I don't know yet. I don't know yet, but for video production, absolutely. We just wrapped this episode of The Lowdown. Jenna is going back home, but me and Henbu are gonna be hanging out, and we're just gonna be hanging out. Hey, what are you doing? All right, so we're vlogging with Henbu right now, and why are you in my shot? Okay, so we just wrapped filming on set on The Lowdown. It was fun, yeah?
Yeah, dude, it was a ton of fun. Long day though, pretty long day. Long day,
filmed several episodes, but now we are back at the hotel because I want to talk about gear. And I just bought the Sony FX3, and I, as I said before, I don't know how I feel about it. You don't have an FX3.
I don't actually, yeah. But you know what? Isn't that the A7S III pretty similar in terms of like the specs, like the sensor?
Internally, it's exactly the same. It's just the body is a little bit different, but the FX3 is essentially an A7S III without the viewfinder, if you don't know. But if this camera is the same as the FX3, and this is more for video, why don't you choose the FX3?
Man, you know what? So I mean, the A7S III came out first, and I kind of jumped the gun on it, bought the S3 right away, and then the FX3 came out. And I was kind of like, damn, I should have waited, you know? Like you said, they're the same internally, so I feel like I just stuck with the S3.
I'm a filmmaker first, and then I shoot photography, so you know most of my work is video. So it would make sense for someone like me to have a camera like the FX3, and I totally forgot that the FX3 lacked 2 features that are very popular in a lot of cinema cameras, because this is a cinema line camera, and those features are internal ND and shutter angle. No shutter angle. And I totally forgot about that, and that's why I'm just gonna go for the FX3 because I get to have those things in a smaller camera body, because I don't necessarily need an FX6 or FX9. I like the small compactness of mirrorless cameras, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I'm a bit bummed out about that. I kind of wish I remembered those features that were lacking with the FX3. And then even earlier today, like I would use the viewfinder of the A7S III or even A7 IV, and I think the one reason why, probably the biggest reason why I maybe want to return the FX3 and keep my A7S III is the custom dial on the top. Like I have presets that I've made to film in 4K 24 frames per second, 4K 60, and 4K 120, where I don't really have a dial in the FX3. You have the mode button over here, that's fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's weird how they didn't add that.
Yeah, and maybe it might take some more time for me to get used to this camera. I still gotta play with it, I haven't decided yet. But just on those features, I would probably say the A7S III is better because I like using those custom dials. I like having a viewfinder because I enjoy taking photography as well.
Yeah, this is definitely like a hybrid camera. You can still shoot photos, you can do video, and yeah, the specs are all there.
Yeah, you can still take photos with the FX3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like the A7C, but you know, a 4K version or a beefed up version of it. Yeah. But no viewfinder. You just got to look at the screen and take photos. But yeah, I did miss having a viewfinder. You do have the fan, the built-in fan, but my A7S III has never overheated.
Yeah, mine either. I'll say that. I will say that A7 IV does overheat. A7 IV has overheat on you?
Yeah, actually
I think there's a setting. There's a setting that you could turn off.
Yeah.
Like it shuts off at a certain heat temperature, but if you turn it off.
Yeah, turn it on temperature high, yes. You have the Sony camera, and if it does shut off, I think it's in the operation menu.
It's like the very last tab.
Yeah. So here's a screenshot of what it looks like. You go over to temperature and change it from standard to high.
Yeah.
And so
Pro tip.
Yeah, so definitely do that if you have a Sony camera. Just going back to your reasons for getting particular gear, I know there's a thing called FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. And if you see somebody get the latest gear, you kind of want to hop on that train. But sometimes that's not the best way forward.
Yeah.
Right? So for people like just starting out, to prevent FOMO, like what should be their thought process when purchasing gear?
To be honest, I would say if you're a complete beginner, just start off with whatever you have. I think is really important. Our smartphones are very powerful nowadays, and if you have like an iPhone 10 or even a 9, or no, they skipped 9. If you have an iPhone 8, 10, 11, or 12, I would say just start off there because your smartphone is very capable. But if you wanted like a camera, like a mirrorless camera or DSLR, I would say start off small. Don't jump for the big guns right away, like a $2,000 to $3,000 camera, because one, most likely you might not know how to fully utilize it right away, right? Like a lot of people will get these cameras, but then they don't know how to fully utilize it. So I would say start off small. That's what I did. My first camera was a Sony A6000.
A6000.
And I still, I still have it, and I think it's a great beginner camera. So slowly build yourself up and earn that FX3 someday, right?
Yeah, maybe your A7S III. Oh, and by the way, like just because I got the FX3 doesn't mean you have to get it. Like honestly, like I'm gonna show some clips over here. Henbu shot these beautiful, beautiful images with an A7S III. Like, it just looks absolutely cinematic. It looks just gorgeous, and you would think it was shot with a higher end camera like the FX6 or whatever, but nope, just a plain old A7S III.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it just goes back to the person behind the camera.
Maybe like 30% of it, but I will say it's the lighting, it's the composition, it's the edit afterwards,
Yeah.
Even using some mediocre footage, but you know how to edit, you know how to cut to the beat or something and just make it really snappy, you could create a pretty cool video with like whatever camera,
Yeah, absolutely 100% agree. And so yeah, to wrap up this video, you don't have to get the FX3 because I'm on the fence whether to return it or keep it. I don't know yet. But just like Henbu said, just start off with what you have and just start making stuff. Right?
Yeah, dude. Just get started. Don't worry about the latest and greatest gear. I know there's a lot of FOMO. But yeah, just start, get the ball rolling and start with whatever you have.
All right, so I don't want to end the video with you thinking that I'm hating on the FX3. I don't. I just still need more time with it. I want to give it a chance. And so I'm just going to end this video with some sweet slow motion footage shot with the FX3. Enjoy.